Hello, welcome again. In this video, we're going to talk about the BABS way to pay. BABS way to pay primarily the financing options that we offer to our customers. So what is BABS way to pay? Well, the first BABS way to pay option is the BABS card, which is a financing option that we use Wells Fargo Bank. It's a credit check option. Customer fill out an application, then we process that application in the system, we get an approval, the customer uses it. It is a gimmick-free financing option that we don't have any hidden fees. There is no processing fee or anything like that. It is just a pure financing option. The promotion is that we give with this BABS way to pay, with the BABS card, is 6 months 0% interest or 12 months 0% interest. So it's going to be either 6 months or 12 months, depending on the purchase. If the customer buys $3.99 or more, $3.99 up to $11.99 purchase, if the customer buys, again, that includes the delivery, the taxes, the protection plan. When you add up everything, out the door price, if the out the door price is within this price range between $3.99 to $11.99, that qualifies 6 months 0% interest. So customer, there is no down payment, he doesn't have to pay anything. We deliver to their home, then they will pay within 6 months. If the customer purchases $1,200 or more, and then they will qualify 12 months 0% interest. So it's a pretty good deal. So this is one option that you will provide to the customer during the selling process. The way we're going to offer this one is that mention at least 3 times during your interaction with the customer. Maybe the first time when you greet the customer and you let the customer look around a little bit. 5 minutes later, when you want to re-engage the customer, you might go back and mention the BABS card at that moment, that we have 12 months, 6 months, or 12 months 0% interest. Mention to them. And then as you go through the selling process, if the customer is looking for a set maybe that is about $1,200, then you will simply say, hey, this qualifies the 12 months 0% interest that they talked about earlier. So you provide the information throughout the selling process. You mentioned that we have the options, but again, when you are interacting with a customer and customer is looking around and you're trying to talk about the features and the benefits for the set and the prices, you're discussing with the prices, that's where you're going to weigh in that this set qualifies 6 months or it qualifies 12 months 0% interest. If the customer was turned down, let's say if you run the Wells Fargo and the customer was not approved, then we have the second option, which is a no credit needed option. This is through Acceptance Now. Acceptance Now is a financial company that we partner. They have their own way of financing, running the financing options. So we don't know how it works, and we don't need to know how they work. The only thing that we need to know is the process. You offer the BABS card to the customer. If that was declined, then you take the customer and you to Acceptance Now, and Acceptance Now will take from there. But the way you're going to offer when you're talking about the BABS card in general is we need to mention both cards. The first time when you mention in the BABS card, you mentioned we have 6 months and 6 months and 12 months 0% interest. That is through Wells Fargo, but we also have a no credit needed option. So when you mention both options to the customer knows that there is 2 ways that they can finance today. And again, if the customer gives you the okay to do the BABS card, before you run the Wells Fargo application, you're going to say, hey, listen, I'm going to process this one. If this one doesn't go through, like I told you, we have the no credit needed option. So you prepare for them if the answer comes out as a negative. So now if the answer comes out as a negative and the customer is declined, you simply go back. It's going to be an easy transition for you to transfer that customer to acceptance now, because they already know that there is another option called no credit needed option, and that you don't do that option because you don't know how it works. There is another person who does it. Okay, so I mentioned that one. So let's say you take the customer to acceptance now. They sit down with acceptance now. Maybe they didn't like the program. They said, we don't want to do this option now, no credit needed option. Then you have the third option, which is a price protection. Price protection is it helps the customer to have everything in the system, so that they don't have to come back another day and select all the items again and go through the whole entire selling process. You put everything in the system, but they will put a down payment. The down payment is 20% down. So 20% after the sale, after the tax. So 20%, again 20% out the door price. So if the sale is $1,000, then they're going to put it down $200. If the sale after is $2,000, then that's 20%, which is $400. So 20% down payment. Customer will put 20% down. They have a 12 months to pay it off. They don't get the furniture until they pay in full. But the option here is that they didn't have to come back and do the whole selling process again. They will put everything together. It's going to be in this, in the system. They will simply call every month and then make the payment over the phone. Okay, and sometimes those customers come back another day with another person maybe, and then they do the Wells Fargo, a co-signer through Wells Fargo. They maybe get approved, and then they can finance the remaining balance and get the furniture into their home. Okay, so these are the three ways that Bob offers to his customers. Bob's card through Wells Fargo, which is 6 months or 12 months, 0% interest. No credit needed option, which is through our Acceptance Now partner. And then the price protection, which the customer is going to put 20% down, and then they have a 12 months to pay it off. Okay? Thank you so much.